So me and my partner have been together for about 6 years when we decided to become foster carers. Well, we didn't decide to become foster carers then. We were been together for 6 years, and then we thought about, obviously the next step for us was to have kids, and obviously there's a lot of options. But we both decided that there was a lot of children out there that would need a stable home, as it were, or somewhere to live. That they can't live with their parents or whatever for other reasons. So we thought that we'd either go down the adoption or fostering route. So we came to, they're like events here that they do for fostering and adoption. They're information evenings. Got all their packs, went to some in Nottingham and Leicester as well, just to keep, options open. And then we decided that, because we didn't really have much experience with kids, that probably adoption was not ready or right for us at the minute. So we thought we'd go and try fostering and see where that took us. Then when we started looking more into fostering, we decided that fostering probably would be definitely for us. The first few stages aren't too bad because they're not as intrusive. And then once you're happy with it and you still want to go on, they do tell you that it's going to get, you're going to have to be a bit into your personal life and everything comes up, your past and everything. But in a way it's quite, what's the word? Like cathartic, is it? Yeah, cathartic. And it's quite good because you get to work through it, like think back and you see all the things that you've done and where you've come from to where you are now and how those things have shaped you and how they've made you the person you are. It's also good because you get to get a bit more information from like your partner's past as well that you probably haven't thought about asking questions like, about their childhood as such. She always asks like things like what you do on holidays and things like that, but like the other stuff, like how your parents were with discipline and things like that was quite good to see from different aspects and how my partner's parents were different to my parents in the way that like mine would stop pocket money and stuff like that, and his would be more like he'd have to do jobs around because he was a farmer, so his was more like having to do more jobs and stuff. But yeah, it was not too intrusive enough, but obviously you got to understand that you're doing it, they're being intrusive because obviously you're going to be looking after vulnerable children and they need to know. Hard, because I think you think it's going to be quite easy, but it's not as easy as you think because you can learn everything that they tell you, but obviously children are different, they're not all the same and they all want different levels of attention. And we weren't expecting the first two that we got because they were brothers, and we just weren't expecting how hectic it would be and how much you'd have to throw everything into it, and it was an eye-opener. But it was quite fun though at the same time, like getting to do things that you wouldn't do as an adult anymore and doing those things that you used to do as a kid, which was quite fun. Like getting to do all the nice things like going to water parks and places you don't normally get to go anymore because you're too old to go, like theme parks. Like you still go, but it's different when you go with a kid because they see it differently. It's more fun and it's magical. Especially Christmas, that's fun because obviously it gets a bit boring when you're an adult, but when you're buying for a kid and you're making it magical for them and like making it just like something they'll remember and seeing them enjoying everything that you're doing for them is that's the nicest thing about it. Really good. Like my family, because they all live close to us, help out all the time. So if we need like a babysitter, because we've had my sister approved by the local authority to do that, then she'll step in and just like babysit, and so that we can still have time together to go out and do stuff together. But yeah, the family's definitely important because obviously sometimes you just need someone to go talk to or ask advice off. Obviously your parents have gone through it all, or family friends who have got kids have gone through it. We found it a big help that we know a friend of mine from an old workplace who's got a child, and she's just been able to tell us like things that she does with her kid that then helps us to do it with the children that we look after, like things they're into, interests they might have. And obviously some kids come with no clothing or anything like that sometimes, and to have people who have got kids who might be the same age, it's really good because they're willing to give you some stuff just to until you can go out and get stuff, which is helpful, because obviously sometimes you don't know what size kids are going to be because they can be different sizes and stuff. But yeah, really good. And from the council's perspective as well, like they're really helpful. Like our social worker, she comes out and talks to us, makes sure that we understand stuff, and she'll give us advice as well based on what she's seen work in other placements, and what she's also seen that works for her, because she's had children, so she also gives us some of her experiences and what she finds works, which is really good. When we first, when you get your first placement, you kind of think you know what you're doing, but then you kind of feel, what do you need to be reporting? Like if they do something, say something, and you're not really sure. Like we weren't sure when one of the children we looked after said something to us, so we were like, well, do we report that or not? Because like, is it just something? It was only a small something they'd only said once, but it was like, do we? So we thought, oh, we'll just ring up and ask anyway. And it was late at night, and obviously your social worker's gone home, but obviously because there's an out-of-hours team, we just picked up the phone and rang them and told them, and they basically wrote it down, reported it for us and said to keep doing it, and asked us if there was anything else we needed while we were there. I'd say definitely do it because it's worth doing, not just for the children that you'll look after, but for yourself, because it does give you a different perspective on life. It does change the way you look at things. Like children are so good at like teaching us as well as us teaching them. Like they're just so willing to open up and be, love anyone, and that's all they want. They just want someone to love them, and they just want to love someone and feel accepted for who they are and comfortable. And it definitely makes you feel better as a person because you feel that they're teaching you how to be so open to everyone rather than just closing off to everyone and being a bit, oh, I'm not sure about that person, just being more like friendly and happy to be around people.